Well, good morning, everybody. Sunday morning, guys, and I'm on my way to worship. I'm trying to get this camera on this mount right, guys. I'm always struggling with this mount for some reason. Yeah, so bear with me. Hope you guys are having a start to a good day. Okay, it's just sitting crazy this morning. I got a late start going to worship today. I got to stop and get some gas. So yeah, it's all thrown out, but you know what? I'm not gonna let nothing get in the way of me going to worship. I got to do it. So I'm late for Sunday school, not actual service, but you know, Sunday school is important too. And I'm trying to keep this thing from falling off of this mount. It's doing all kinds of stuff right now. But I'm gonna have to stop and get me some gas. I spent the better part of yesterday running my girlfriend around to all these different boutiques and shops and stuff. And she was supposed to put gas in my car, and I let her get away without putting some gas in my car. So she will be getting a call today. But anyway, I'm gonna get down here and stop and put some gas in this car so that I can make it where I'm going. Guys, I didn't have time to get me no breakfast this morning. I'm up here eating an apple this morning. It's one of them days. I know sometimes we have these days at some of the most inconvenient times, but it is what it is. But if you're interested in viewing this video, just stay tuned. So guys, I'm back. I had to stop and get some gas. Running late. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and go on and get over here to worship. But just wanted to jump in. Guys, I didn't feel like putting a video up this week. I just didn't feel like it. I'm not going to make an excuse for it. It wasn't, you know, that I was too busy or anything like that. I've been really tired. This heat down here in Memphis has been like off the charts. It's been like really dry and hot and humid. No rain. Well, we've had rain, but it's been like scattered storms. And then after the storm, it gets hotter. So, you know, our temperatures have been well up in the 90s, but with the humidity and the heat index, it's been like well over 100, like 103 to 105, 108. It's just been hot. So a lot of times it's very draining on me with the illness that doctors say that I have. And so I just been, you know, just tired and not really feeling like doing a lot. So forgive me, but I just want to jump on and just with a few updates. I know you guys have been wondering about, well, not all of you, some of you that really follow me have been wondering what I'm planning to do. I was in a dilemma of making a decision whether or not I was going to move. I have a lot of stuff going on that I got to take care of. And due to a lot of things that's been going on in my life, I made some different decisions, some changes, decided not to take a position. And I think I'm going to stay here in Memphis for another year. And here's the thing. I have moved a lot in my life, and a lot of it wasn't due to me just having job changes. It was the fact that when I was married to someone that was in the military. And for 10 years, all we did was travel, you know, from different states and cities because, you know, him being shipped and, you know, restationed at different locations. So that's been a part of my life, you know, and I feel like that's all I've done. I think when I moved back to Chattanooga, that was the longest time that I spent in Chattanooga. Somebody was actually driving in my lane toward me, guys. That was crazy. And I think, let me think about that for a second. Yeah, the mid-90s to 2000, mid-2000s, probably about 10 years was the longest that I spent as an adult in Chattanooga, and then I moved away again. So I've been back and forth to my hometown for various reasons, trying to be supportive to my family and different things, and not really being able to get myself situated and settled where I really want to do. I feel like my whole entire life has been about trying to extend myself to other people who maybe did or did not, you know, appreciate it or see it, and raising my children. Now, with my children, as far as that's concerned, I'm not going to complain on that because that's my responsibility and I enjoy it and I love raising my kids. But making decisions for me and for things that I really want to do, and I think about it a lot of times, I'm like, my children are adults. They all live on their own now. My youngest daughter, I was just there for her wedding a couple months back. My oldest daughter is doing very well. She lives in Maryland, D.C. area. She works in Washington, D.C. Has a very prominent future as an attorney. She's a paralegal right now. And my youngest daughter just had her first child. Well, all of my children just have one child, but she just had her first baby, and she's in school, and her husband wants her to stay at home and just work and finish her education and take care of their baby. And I'm so proud of that. I love him to death. He's a very supportive husband. And my oldest is my son, which I don't think I get a chance to talk about him much, but he's an entrepreneur. He works. He's a very hardworking person. He works about 3 different businesses, and he has a son. That's my little BJ that you guys got opportunity to meet when he was here on some of my blogs. And my son is a writer. He's a musician. He's a barber. He's an awesome chef. He does a lot of different things, and so he's on his own. You know, they're all doing well, and I think sometimes I forget that and feel like, you know, that I should be still doing things that's, you know, trying to see about them, when I'm like, they're living their lives. My children are living their lives, you know. And I think a lot of times I have felt lost, especially since I've been single for the past 7 years. I have felt a void of having anything in my life to do, you know, and not recognizing that, okay, for however long God has you left here, you need to be living your life. So I've always been like trying to plan my life around either trying to do better for myself to take care of my children, or extend myself for my family. You know, I would have never moved back to Chattanooga once I had gotten married if it hadn't been for the fact that my mom had actually asked me to move back home when I was planning to divorce my husband. She didn't want me to live off somewhere by myself, and at that particular time she was going through some hard times with her husband, who was diagnosed with cancer. So I'm sharing some of my personal family things with you guys, just let you see how life is sometimes. And she asked me to move back to try to help her, because she was raising my 2 nieces at that time. They were very young at that time, and she needed some support, and they was going through some financial difficulties and different things like that. My mom had come off her job because, you know, my stepfather was going through this period of where he was becoming ill. So I thought about it, and then I made the decision to move home so that I can be there for her. So I moved home, and I moved in with her for a period of probably about 7 months. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, those were some of the hardest 7 months of my life, because, you know, any of you that have moved away from home and then have to go back, and then you move in with your parents, and y'all know the struggle. We're gonna leave it there. But I was really trying to be supportive, and I started working 2 jobs, and I was trying to make sure all the kids got to school. I mean, I was driving. It seemed like the better part of the morning I was doing a bunch of driving. My son used to sit in the car up like this, looking at me, trying to keep me awake, because I had worked the 3rd shift job. And I would get off from work, and I would have to get them to school. So I would have to go by my mom's. I pick up my 3 children and my nieces. Ooh, it's all kinds of stuff happening on this road, y'all. Truck just dumped a whole bunch of trash on the street, and I had to slow up so it wouldn't hit my car windshield. But anyway, forgive me too, I'm eating. But I would pick them up, and then I would have to drive all over town, because the neighborhood my mom lived in wasn't the greatest neighborhood, so my children and my nieces had to be driven across town to go to their schools. So I would do that, and my son would be trying to keep me awake. And then I was in nurses training. I was training to be a certified nursing assistant. So as soon as I dropped them off, I would go to my training, if that was a day that I had training, or I would go home and I would lay down for a few hours. It just depends on what the day was, but I always had something to do. So I would go to my training, and then when I get off of my training, I maybe had an hour or two before I had to go pick the kids up from school. So that was my life. And then I would come home, help my mom get dinner and stuff for the kids, make sure my kids got their baths, and then by 10 o'clock that night, I was headed off back to my third shift job, which I was working at Walmart overnight. So that was my life for those months that I was living with my mom. And it was a struggle. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It was some of the hardest times of my life. But I made that decision to do that because I felt my mama needed me. And she was going through a transition of her life, the biggest transition of her life, with my stepfather falling ill. And then it got really bad when he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and he would no longer be able to work. But prior to that, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but prior to that, he had to come off of his job he had been on for nearly 30 years. He was working for the railroad, which was a very good career. He was no longer able to perform it because this tumor was causing, problems for him. So he had stopped doing that job and was working like a security job. And I actually would drive him to work as well. So it was just a lot going on at that time that I felt that was my contribution to my family, trying to be helpful. And when he got really sick, I used to help my mom and take him to the doctor, me and my sister. And it was just a lot. It was a whole lot going on. So now here I am, all these years later, and I'm still in that mode and that mindset of, I need to be here. I need to be helping doing, with this. And I'm realizing that, my children they're living their lives. They're doing well for themselves, and if they need me, they'll let me know. But I'm still always trying to arrange my life so that I can be there, for someone else. And honestly, nobody's doing that for me. So I'm like, why I keep doing that? I'm like, I'm not getting any younger, guys. I'm not getting younger, and it's time for me to just appreciate the years I have left and live them to the best of my ability, And so with that being said, I said all that to say this. I made some decisions not to take the job that I was going to take and move away from Memphis. And I decided to maybe stay here one more year and to do what I ultimately wanted to do, and that was to move to Florida. I've been talking to one of my daughters about it a lot, and I've always wanted to live near the coast. That's my dream, and y'all know I talk about the beach all the time, and been several times this year, and that's just what I want to do. And I've always been stuck in the Gulf. I love the Gulf side of the coast. And so rather than maybe do Alabama, I'm going to do Florida. So my daughter and I are planning a family trip. We're trying to get all of my kids and, my grandchildren to go. And we're going to plan a trip there next year around April. And go down and just have a good time and stuff. And so, I said I'm going to take this year and just save money and work and make that transition on next year, around this time next year, and do what I've wanted to do. I'm in my mid-50s, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to be in a thriving relationship. I have a very nice social life. I'm not gonna even lie about that. I have friends. I have people who, you know, take me out. I have people who care about me. If I need to take a vacation with someone, I can. I have confidants that I can call. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't have a thriving life. You know, but everyone, I think every human pretty much desires to have a companion. And I think a lot of times we're just waiting for that to happen. But what if it doesn't? So while you're sitting and waiting in limbo, you know, waiting on that, and it may or may not happen, life is just going by. So I just decided that wherever I am, if it's meant for me to have this relationship with a man, and guys, I'm being paranoid right now. If it's meant for me to have a relationship with a man, someone who's gonna be in my life, my soulmate, my companion for life, to death do us part. No matter where I go, God's gonna let him find me, you know. So I'm not gonna sit around because I'm thinking, well, you know, if I move, you know, what if I don't meet him? You know, if it's meant for me to meet my soulmate, guys, the Lord's gonna bring him to me no matter where I'm at. You know, whether I'm in Memphis, whether I'm in Chattanooga, you know, Nashville, which was an option for me, Florida. You know, God's gonna move, you know, bring him to me. You know, that's the way he works. And if he doesn't have that in the plans for me, then I have to live the life that has been designed for me. You know, I have a lot of talents, and a lot of times I have been afraid to step out on faith and do some of the things that I want to do for fear of failure, because I had tried a lot of things as a young adult, and I failed at a lot of business, and I was very successful at a lot of things that I tried, and they lasted for many years. You know, even doing the real estate, and you know, it was good, you know, until it failed, you know, and then the market crash. You can't plan for those things. Things in life happens, and that's just life. You have to live with it. And so therefore, that's what happened. And I had been the business folded, and, you know, and not to mention the fact that I was doing it in a relationship with somebody as well. So, you know, that wasn't the greatest of ideas. But I've done a lot of things in life, and I've had a good life. I'm not going to sit here and complain and say that my life hasn't been good, because my life has been good. And, but I do want to be able to say that I'm living my best life, and I'm doing the things that, you know, I know that God has put me out there to do. And one of the things is, you know, what I do here on YouTube and all of my social media outlets, and, you know, my podcast channel. And guys, if you have not subscribed to my podcast channel or downloaded the app, you don't necessarily have to download the app. You can just actually go and I share it on Google, so you can actually go and just view some of the videos. But if you want to follow me, you have to download the app. But it's Castbox, and I'm going to scroll it here, and you guys can go out and check me out on that and watch my past my podcast. And it's called You Go Girl. And yeah, so if you are interested in that, there's just a little plug there. I'm getting ready to go in, so just trying to make sure I'm looking presentable. It's really hot today, so I really just dress very casually today because it's just so hot. But so I want to live my life doing the things that I want to do, guys, and I'm ready. You know, I don't want to keep putting it off. So I want to move to Florida. And so my plans is I'm going to sell the majority of the things that I own. And maybe not my bedroom set. I love my bedroom set. And a few items, but I'm going to sell most of my furniture. And just put money aside for this year to make this move around this time next year. And I probably find, you know, work in a bank part-time, because I have some things that I want to try. I'm in the process of getting certified as a meditation guide and teaching relaxation. and focus, and maybe give a few classes doing that. I really want to do that, and I'm going to do some things that I want to do. I want to get back into my jewelry making that I have been putting off. I've made a few pieces and then I put it off. So guys, I have a lot of things I want to do, and at this point of my life, you know, what is it worth if I worked plus 30 plus years of my life and I can't take the latter part of my life and just do the things that I want to do that's for me. Now, my mother is very blessed to be still here, but she's dealing with some things emotionally, mentally, and yes, my family and I will have to make decisions probably in the next, you know, 2 years, I would say, maybe, with her, because she has really bad memory loss, and I think she's in early stages of dementia. And I often talked of her being ill and not really saying what it is, but that's what it is. And I think it was onset because my mother had a very hard life. She lived a very hard life. She lost her mother very young. She was 18, and she's been in a very abusive marriage, and she lost her first child when she was 25 years old. Her daughter was 25 years old, my sister. And then she had to care for her abusive husband, who had cancer, until he died. So she's not really had a great life, and I think just a lot of things contributed to her being ill. So, you know, I love my mom. We've always had a very strained relationship. You know, I've been the only child that she's had that really has not had to depend on her. You know, I just saw a lot growing up, and I just knew that I wanted to live a different life. So I'm gonna get into that on another video, so I'm not gonna start that in this one. But I just wanted to share with you guys, you know, where I'm at in my thinking, and you know, why sometimes I might fall off of making videos for a week or two. It's because sometimes, you know, life just kind of crashes in, and you need a moment to just kind of think and get your footing and make decisions about your life. And that's just where I've been. So I'm gonna get off of this video now. I'm going ahead to worship. You know, I'm still late, but I haven't missed all of Sunday school, and I'll be able to get all of worship. But guys, thank you for tuning in to this morning. Well, you'll see this evening sometimes, but thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys, and I'm gonna have some other videos coming up. I got to do an update on my locks. I have a haul that I want to do of some outfits. I've been shopping on this. I think I brought one outfit from Rotisha, but I have some outfits I want to bring to you guys. So I want to do my first mini haul and let you guys see some of the looks of that, some of the summer things that I've gotten from them. Yeah, so that's what I have today, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you guys later this week. I hope you all have a fabulous one, okay? Take care. Peace and love. Bye, guys.